and welcome to the Ultimate Bedrock Survival Guide. My name is Lost Bobbin, and I am here to share everything I know about how Minecraft works on PC, tablet, and console. If you play on Bedrock Edition, you have found the right place. Today's episode is all about the underwater structures. That means the shipwrecks, ocean ruins, and ocean monuments. And we will use maps, enchantments, and potions in this episode. But let's start back at my village and get a map. Cartographer villagers will sell you maps. And a journeyman, or, third level cartographer, has a chance to sell you a map to an ocean monument. And this works out, because I also want cartographers for when I show you all how to cure zombified villagers. So I'm cool locking this one in with a trade. I have unlocked this one up to the apprentice level, and the map offered to me is a savannah village. I don't need that. And you can see that the first slot of journeyman shows a map, and I can hope it's an ocean monument, but it could also be a trial chamber, and I don't need that. I do need to get more stuff to trade, or possibly just sleep through the night so I can level this one up to journeyman. Now, while I wait, I'm going to build a little dirt fort for the first villager to stay in. I want to go ahead and breed a second cartographer in case this one is selling me a trial chamber map. Well, I got the map I wanted, but in the process, I forgot to turn record back on. So here's my first villager, and I did level it up using glass because it started charging me 38 paper for 1 emerald, and that's just extortion. Next, I made a compass using 4 iron and 1 redstone, and then I got my ocean explorer map. Pretty simple. Let's take a look at this map. So when you hold it in your hotbar, it'll fill up your entire screen, which is a little hard for walking, but we'll get to that in a second. To orientate yourself, you need to know that holding a map in Minecraft is like holding a paper map. The 4 cardinal directions won't change even if you spin around. North is always on top. So, find your sun. So it's in the morning for me, and the sun rises in the east, so that's north. Now, when we look at our map, we can find ourselves on the map, and basically know which direction to go. But first, we're going to head back to base, and I'm going to get everything that I think you should take with you when you're going ocean exploring. So I'm going to make 2 specific tools for this adventure. You need copper ingots, amethyst shards, sticks, and feathers. The first thing I'm going to make is a spyglass, so we can zoom in on stuff that's far away. And then the brush is for the ocean ruins. So the spyglass goes into your hotbar, and then you either left click or use button to zoom in on stuff. Hey, little guy. Working hard? Let's go look in my ender chest to see what all I'm taking with me. So to begin with, I always have this black bundle with extra stuff in it that I always take. And for this one, I threw in an extra block of copper and the feather. But, the other stuff. And including I'm going to carry around an ender chest so that I'm taking the stuff in the ender chest with me as we travel. So inside the ender chest, I always bring in my extra tools, including my bow and a bunch of arrows and a bundle of bundles. This is going to be a huge trip of filling up bundles. Now, I don't only have all these potions, but I have a potions bundle. And this is critical. Inside this bundle are all the ingredients that I need to make 6 more of the water breathing and the night vision potions. And then the gunpowder is so I can make more TNT. I'll show you why we're going to use TNT later. And then of course I've got a boat because we're going to be spending most of our time on the ocean. I've got my brush, my spyglass, and my explorer map. Whew. Well, I'm sure I forgot something, but it's Minecraft and we can probably find it or craft it while we're on the road. So let's talk about my enchantments. I have Respiration 3 and Aqua Affinity on my helmet. Respiration increases the amount of time I can be underwater, and Aqua Affinity allows me to break blocks as quickly as I can on dry land. Well, let's say goodbye to our little buddy and head out. Oh, I forgot. I also have Depth Strider on my boots, which lets me walk as fast underwater as I do on dry land. So some time has passed, and I honestly have visited a few underwater spots along the way, but none were really worth sharing with you. We're going to find some better ones for the video. So let's check our location on the Ocean Explorer map. Oh, yeah, first. So where's the sun? Okay, so it's almost noon, so that's north, and it looks like we've traveled a bit too far west. Well, I want to put the map in my offhand so it stops taking up all of the screen. But we cannot reach our offhand if we are in a chest boat. Instead, we see the contents of the chest. So I'm going to exit the boat, but I'm not going to leave the boat. See, I'm standing inside my boat. It's a pretty neat trick, huh? Now I can put the map in my offhand, and it's going to be small over in the lower left-hand part of my screen. Well, shoot. It seems we've come to a serious, watery dead end. And now for most of this trip, I've been able to simply break through a few blocks of land between 2 pieces of water, but I'm going to need to portage here. Well, it looks like the ocean begins in earnest. So I'm going to want to head that way for the monument, but of course first I need the boat. Now remember, if I simply break the chest boat, all of the contents will get tossed all over the place. So instead, I'm going to use a lead to drag the boat over land. This process mainly requires you to jump up one more block more than your boat, but the process can be a little tedious. So just check back on occasion if the lead snaps, and if you forget a lead, the wandering trader might stop by and help out. We're back on the water, and the first thing I see is kelp. This is a really useful resource that we have not seen in this world until now. I'm not going to immediately collect any, but because by the end of this adventure, I'm sure we will have enough. That's a dolphin! They indicate that there's treasure nearby. In fact, I'm sure there's a buried chest in the sand behind me, but I'm going to show you how to find treasure maps instead of simply destroying the landscape. On our way to find the monument, we are going to look out for ocean ruins and shipwrecks. And the easiest way to do this is to drink a potion of night vision, and then you can see clearly underwater. So let's look around a little. Oh hey, a shipwreck! Perfect! I adore shipwrecks. Even if I don't need any of the treasure, I will always jump out and swim around one just to look at it. I especially love the crazier magical ones. So if you come across a super cool one, please post a screenshot in my comment section. Now I'm really far from my base, so I am going to set my spawn point here before I go diving. The first thing I'm going to do is take off my helmet so that you can see the time difference for diving between not having a helmet at all and having a helmet with Respiration 3 and Aqua Affinity. Now I understand from my husband that swimming underwater on an iPad is really frustrating. So have patience with yourself if that's your gaming platform. I also want to show you how oh my goodness, I'm already out of air. All right, so that's 16 seconds there before we ran out of air. All right, let's get the helmet back on, and I think I'm getting hit by a trident. Oh my gosh. So this whole timer has to go, and do I have to actually go and attack and kill somebody while I'm got my timer going? I hope not. All right, there you go. All right, down you go. My flame doesn't work underwater, which is kind of a pain. So, okay, oh, I can already see one of the chests. So we're gonna go down here, and a shipwreck can have 1 to 2 chests. Oh, excuse me while I have a snack. I'm so sorry. I usually like to cut this out. And somebody is attacking me again. Oh, it's a baby zombie. Even more wonderful, but I can see the second chest. I don't think you usually can see the chests this clearly. Oh, and nor do you get the trim. Man, this is awesome. So we've got the coast armor trim in here, and we've got a treasure map, and we've got a random little piece of paper. And then what's in the other chest? Really, usually this is much harder to find. Oh, we've got some suspicious stew that'll do something suspicious, and some more paper. So we're gonna collect all this, and once we close the chest, we'll see our bubbles again. Okay, we've got 2 bubbles left, 1 bubble left. I'm just gonna go ahead and grab the chest, and then take off back to the surface as the bubbles start, as my air runs out. And that was about 64 seconds. So yeah, I think Notch had a thing for like 8, 16, and 64 and stuff. So as I head back to bed, I can see I've got a problem where my night vision is not letting me know that it's actually dark out. And so I'm gonna have to clear all these critters before I can go to bed. All right, I'll be right back. I survived the night. Let's look at this treasure map. So, oh, we can already see blue there. And I already know how to orient it. So it's just right in front of us. All right, let's go check it out. So the color indicates that I'm actually on the map, and then my little indicator person thingy starts to turn into a pointer, which helps because now I can orient myself based on the pointer direction as well as figuring out exactly where the X is. So we're gonna walk around here a little bit until the indicator is just over the X. Let's see, all right, let's try this one. So it's going to be within 10 blocks below your, oh gosh, here it is. Okay, let's see what's inside it. Well, let's check out the potions first. So this is critical. Potion of water breathing, 3 minutes. So this is really handy if you don't want to go to the Nether Fortress. You can still get some potions. This is regeneration, if you know how to use it, and then all the ingots and chainmail, and then the Heart of the Sea is in every single treasure chest. It's a guaranteed loot. And we use that to make kind of a cool underwater thing. So we're just gonna load this into our bundles. which I've got a lot of loot already from the adventures I've already had. And then we're going to break the chest and head on back out of here. Editing Bobbin here. In Bedrock, treasure chest coordinates are divisible by 8. So get yourself close to the X on the map and then bust out your calculator. If you don't find the chest within 10 or so blocks below the surface, you're not crazy. The game just had a glitch in the matrix. Move on. I want to try some of this suspicious stew. Now, since I didn't make it, I have no idea if it'll have a positive or negative effect, or if even all the bowls in the chest are the same kind. Oh, I saw a flash of red. Well, that means that this was saturation, which I didn't need. Oh well. Suspicious stew only lasts for seconds, but you can make it without going to the nether. Now, it could have been night vision, which would have been cool, but it wasn't. And bowls don't stack. I found the next cool thing to show you, and it's called an ocean ruin. Now be sure to tag your bed. These ruins tend to have a lot of drowned. This one is a warm ocean ruin versus a cold one. You can tell because the ruins are made of granite and sandstone versus stone and cobblestone. Now I wanted to show you this one because it's so big with lots of buildings, so there's lots to explore. The ones I found earlier were really small, which is why I haven't included them. The ocean ruins are why we brought a brush, because there's a lot of suspicious sand in ruins. You know, there's a lot of suspicious stuff in Minecraft, but that's just coal, and that's pretty boring. Wow! Oh my gosh, we're already getting attacked by drowned. Okay, I'll bring you back in when I find something interesting. We saw a lot of suspicious sand in the desert, so you already know not to break it with any tool, even Silk Touch, before you brush it, or the loot is lost. Now, navigating underwater is really hard because you have to be patient with the brush. Now, see, this is wheat, and I'm not even gonna bother with wheat, so I'm just gonna break it. But while you're patiently trying to brush the sand, you're also trying not to drown or get attacked by drowned. But I swear, there really is a reason to be down here. And one is that there is a treasure chest, and it'll have the treasure maps, and the warm ruins are the only place to find the Sniffer Egg. Oh, and look, here, see all this kelp? This is why I didn't bother breaking kelp earlier. I'll collect that in a second. So this is even with respiration, as I'm having to kind of bounce up and down as I'm brushing the, oh my goodness, it's a Sniffer Egg. Okay, so this is actually kind of rare and precious, and it creates this animal called a sniffer, but we're gonna need to find 2 of them before we can breed them. So I don't know how long I'll stay down here, but I do kind of want to find 2, I'll be honest. But first we're gonna find the treasure chest. It's usually under one of these pillars. Oh, there it is, and I'm getting attacked again. Yeah, you really want to have protection under here, and respiration. Ugh. So the chest is usually under one of the pillars around the base, and it does have a treasure map, but oh boy is it full of garbage. Treasure chests in ocean ruins are kind of not amazing, and I'm drowning. But they do have treasure maps, which is critical if you want that heart of the sea. So this is a pretty big ruin. Unless I find something really special, I'm just gonna explore this one on my own. Y'all, I found something really cool. Okay, first off, these are sea lanterns. We're gonna see a lot of them on the ocean monument. But this whole thing that I've dug out under here, I'm underwater right now. I'm underneath in a buried ocean ruin. And I've kind of dug all this out, and I was a little surprised as to how much was underneath here. But that's all cool, and I think you should dig out underneath ruins if they look buried. But here we go. I found a second Sniffer Egg. Yay! So now I'm going to be able to go back and breed them. I am done with ocean ruins. But I should mention that this is also where we're going to get the pottery sherds, just like we get in the desert. So, you know, we need to make some cool pottery things at base, don't we? Yes. Okay, moving on. But before we get out of here, I'm going to pick up this magma block and show you a special underwater trick. If you don't have respiration yet, you can use a magma cube to replenish your breath. So you have to squat on it. You squat on the magma cube and your little bubbles get replenished. So you could actually carry one of these around and not have respiration on your helmet. Here, let me step off of it. You'll see my little bubbles show up. And then I'm going to crouch and scoot back onto the cube, and you'll see the bubbles go away. And that means that my breath is replenished. So this is a trick. If you do not have the enchantment on your helmet, you can use the magma block. I found the treasure chest from the ocean ruins, and I've looted that. And y'all, I now have 2 chest boats. This is literally getting out of hand, and I am considering going ahead and killing the Ender Dragon in the next couple of episodes, just so I can get the shulker boxes for my adventuring. Oh, wait! What's that? Oh, it's a broken nether portal. Oh, perfect. I remembered the block I forgot to bring. I forgot obsidian. So now I can go collect that from the broken nether portal. I was thinking to build a nether portal out here in case I ever want to set up a guardian farm. Well, not here, but by the ocean monument. But don't worry, we're going to get to that soon. Oh, also, if you don't have flame on your sword, you're going to want to collect this flint and steel to ignite the dynamite. I'm so sorry. I have flame on my sword, and I forget that that's not a given enchantment. I mean, it is for me, but maybe not for you. We're finally heading towards the main event, which is the ocean monument. So you can see the blue creeping onto the map. We got like, what, 5 eons ago? So we're sitting here because I don't want to get too close yet. Let's look through the spyglass to see if we can find it. Aha! There it is. So now you're going to be able to spot these anytime you get close. Well, I picked up some milk buckets. Do you know how to do that yet? You click a cow with an empty bucket to get milk. Milk is critical when dealing with potions or harmful effects because you drink the milk and it removes the effect. So, as we get closer to the monument, we are going to be hit with the mining fatigue effect. Now, don't be scared. There it is. Man, the first time this hit me, I had no idea. But it was thrilling, actually. All right, well, it is nighttime, so we need to set up base. And kelp is very handy for setting up base because you can attach a solid block to it in the middle of the ocean. And then you can build yourself a little platform up here in water, basically. Oh, hey, looks like there's another broken nether portal down there. That's cool. All right, so the mining fatigue means that it takes forever to break a block. You're basically back to day 1 trying to break stone with your fist. And until we kill the 3 Elder Guardians, we're going to continue to be struck by the mining fatigue every time we get close to the monument. So it's the morning, and I'm going to drink a bucket of milk to remove the mining fatigue effect for a moment. This is very temporary. Once we get close again, we're going to get reinfected. Or is it re-affected? Effected? To take on the monument, we're going to first drink the potion of night vision, followed by the potion of underwater breathing. Now, the order is important because when your vision goes dark, that means the time is almost up on your breathing as well. I'm pausing here to go over some important parts of this monument. Number 1, there are 3 Elder Guardians and we must kill them. They are located in these 3 spots, and if we take too long, these 2 might move, so we're going to be quick. Under these archways is an entrance if you do not have dynamite. You'll have to swim in through here and then swim through a maze of hallways to find the Elder Guardians. Number 3, so if you don't have dynamite, I recommend breaking the block up here to get at the top one and then going through the entrance to get to the other 2. They can be reached a little bit easier because their corridors are connected. So while we're doing all of this activity, we're going to be attacked by drowned and guardians. Guardians are basically like a zombie or a drowned with their attack damage. So if your armor's enchanted, you're going to be fine. I will now show you how to set up TNT underwater. So you have to surround the TNT on all 4 sides by solid blocks while making 1 double stack on one side. Oh my gosh, I did not mean to do that. Hold on, this is going to take too long. So this is the setup. Surround it with dirt blocks, sand, whatever, and then you're going to take your flint and steel or your sword that has flame on it. You're going to strike the TNT and then put a block on top of it. And then swim away and wait. See, that's it. In fact, the dirt doesn't even get damaged. But now we've uncovered the Elder Guardian, and we can just sink down in here and kill it, frankly. It does beat you up a bit, but I've got good armor, so I'm just gonna sit here and whack at it for a second. Once you kill the Elder Guardian, you're gonna get some drops, and the drops include prismarine shards, prismarine crystals, and most importantly is a wet sponge, because that's one of the main reasons that we're here. But let's go kill the other 2 so we can get rid of this mining fatigue. Oh my gosh. There are just too many guardians. But look, the other side's empty. Let's go over there instead. So we do the same idea of you surround the block of TNT on all sides, create a double layer, light the TNT, cover it, you must cover it, and then it will explode the wall of the monument and open it up so that you can get in and kill the Elder Guardian. Where are you? Oh, there you are. So once you've killed it, you have a 100% chance of getting a sponge. Ugh, now drowned. and a 20% chance of getting the Tide armor trim. Oh, okay, so there's the mining fatigue again, and that's because it does go away after a given amount of time. But if you're still within the ocean monument and there's still an Elder Guardian, then it will re-affect you. So now you just swim through this corridor until you get to the opposite side, and then you'll find the other Elder Guardian. And I'm doing it this way because the other side was just so messy with all those guardians up above. I do hope to get that trim today, and I also hope I can find a sponge room in this monument. So all 3 guardians are dead, but I can't drink my milk or else I'll lose my night vision and my underwater breathing. So I'm just gonna walk around in here for a little bit and show you other parts of the monument. So that's dark prismarine in front of us. It's just simply a pillar and it has the sea lanterns within it. These are really cool light blocks. And you can see how maze-like it is down here. So it's really, really easy to get lost. So it's the next day and I'm done with mining fatigue. I can swim in the main entrance with you and we can swim up, and this is the loot room. So behind this dark prismarine are great big giant blocks of gold. So this is great loot if you need giant blocks of gold at this point in your game. There's only a couple, but it's still pretty handy. I'm actually going to gather up all of the dark prismarine because I want to collect all that and take it home with me. I also want to take home a bunch of these sea lanterns, and because I have Silk Touch, I'm able to pick up the sea lantern as a whole block. Otherwise, it would shatter into the shards, which then I could recombine in a crafting table to make sea lanterns. And the shards are what you're going to get out of the Elder Guardians, as well as if you set up just a regular old Guardian farm. The last thing I'm going to look for here is the sponge room. And to get there, I'm going to go down through the top hole I made at the very, very beginning. And because I don't have mining fatigue anymore, I'm just going to break through all the walls here until I've exposed all of the different rooms kind of in the top area. So I don't want to go down too far deep anymore. I just want to walk around here and break blocks until I find the sponge room. Or not a sponge room. It's not guaranteed that there's a sponge room in here. The first monument did not have a sponge room, so I went and found a second one. Now for this one, I'm doing it a little different. I'm not drinking any of my potions until I kill the 3 Elder Guardians. That way, I can drink the milk immediately and be able to break blocks and look for the sponge room. I'm pretty comfortable with my helmet taking care of the underwater breathing and just being able to see in the dark a little bit. Now, another thing I'm going to try and do is use my bow and arrow on this one, because I think that oh my gosh, Mr. Dolphin, because I think that my sword needs upgrading. I've got Bane of Arthropods on there, and it kind of drives me a little crazy. I'm also hoping to get the trim, which I did not get the first time around. This is the final one, and you're gone. All right. I don't think I got the trim. That's a bummer. But now I can drink the milk, and that clears the mining fatigue, and then I can drink my 2 potions. Let's go see if we got a sponge room. So to recap, I'm heading up to the topmost part of the ocean monument, and then I'm going to kind of walk around as well as just, break through the walls. So let's see what's behind wall number 1. Sponges! Fantastic! So this is a sponge room. That's all I have to say about this. This is full of about 30 wet sponges, and they're going to come in super handy later. The best way to break a sponge is with a hoe, but to be honest, that would mean I'd have to pull out the ender chest, pull out the hoe, etc., etc. It just takes a smidge longer with a pickaxe, but you get the job done. All right, that's it. That is the only things I need out of an ocean monument today. I've decided not to build another passageway back to my base from the ocean monument today. So I'm just going to go gather up my other chest boat, and then I'll meet you back at base to go over what we found today and all the different cool properties. And in the meantime, I have another treasure map to follow. I'm going to do that by myself though. See you in a sec. Y'all, portaging 2 chest boats just got a little silly. All right, I got the pig out, but then I picked up these guys going through the village. I mean, I guess I take them back home with me? Let's review what we got today. Look at all these treasure maps. So fun. Well, we found a heart of the sea in all of the buried treasure. So we're going to add that to a bunch of nautilus shells, and we're going to make a conduit. Now you power a conduit with prismarine, so you can work underwater, be able to breathe, not get attacked all the time. But it's also kind of a cool looking light source if you're not underwater. Well, maybe we can build one together when I find a coral reef. That'll be later. So I did find the coast trim in one of the shipwrecks, which means I think I found 5 of the 16 different trim options. In the ocean ruins, I found 2 sniffer eggs. Now, I don't want them to hatch until I've built a corral. I can see myself building a whole episode where I involve them and other different animals that are more of the mid or late game farming instead of the early desperate farming when you just need leather. The ocean monument is made of prismarine blocks. Prismarine can be built using the different shards that you get when you kill the guardians. So that's why you set up a farm, is if you want to generate these blocks without having to constantly go swimming. Now, I'm bummed I didn't get the trim, but there are more monuments in the sea. Let's talk about the sponge. Now, the sponge can only be found in an ocean monument, and when you collect it, it's soaking wet, and it needs to be dried out before you can use it. We have 3 ways to dry it out. We can put it in a furnace, and we can dehydrate it, and then once it's dried out, it's called sponge. And it will no longer stack with the wet sponge, but it will start to do cool things with water. Or the fastest is actually taking it to the nether, because there can be no water in the nether. But in Bedrock, there is a third option. We can go to the desert. It takes a little longer, but it works. Now, a dry sponge does exactly what you think it does. It absorbs water. Now, these are crazy useful for draining a flooded cave, or you could even drain parts of the ocean. Okay, this kind of has a surf-like effect. I wonder how you could use this in a build. It's really cool. That wraps up this episode. I've decided to head to the end dimension in the next episode so that I can get some shulker boxes. I'm going to break that adventure into 3 different parts to keep my videos manageable, and I suppose that will tip us from mid-game to end-game? But I don't really consider Minecraft to have an end. There's just too much to see and do. Anyway, bye!